stop. Before you scroll away, what happened today in U.S. immigration could directly affect your visa, your green card, or someone you love. I'm Edward, this is Global Entry News, and I promise you, the most shocking story of today is coming at the very end. Let's get into it. Let's start with the one piece of good news today. Global Entry is back. As of early this morning, the program is fully operational again after being shut down when DHS ran out of funding. Thousands of international travelers were left with no answers and no timeline for when it would return. But that wait is over. If you have been holding off on applying, now is the time. Do not wait, because we already learned once how fast this program can vanish without any warning. Now the story that affects millions of immigrants across this country right now. The March 2026 Visa Bulletin is out, and there is movement. But it is not good news for everyone. The positive side first. Employment-based category EB4 moved forward by nearly 2 years across all countries. EB2 India moved ahead by 11 months. If you are in these categories, check your priority date right now because you may be closer than you think. But here is the other side of that bulletin. Immigrant visa issuance for certain countries has dropped significantly because of presidential proclamations the administration put in place to restrict processing. If your country is affected, your wait just got longer and more uncertain than before. Check the bulletin, talk to your attorney, and track it every single month because things are moving fast. Before we go any further, if this information is valuable to you, hit that like button right now. It costs you nothing and it helps this video reach the people who need it most. And if you are not subscribed yet, click subscribe and turn on the bell. U.S. immigration is changing every single week and you cannot afford to miss a single update. Now, let's talk about what is happening between the courts and the Trump administration, because it is getting intense. Judges are now openly saying that ICE and Department of Justice leadership are putting their own lawyers in what they are calling an impossible position. The administration keeps pushing policies that courts keep striking down. And behind the scenes, the White House has quietly told House Republicans to stop making public statements about mass deportations because the legal cracks are showing and they do not want more attention on them. A new bill called the Real Courts Rule of Law Act of 2026 was just introduced. It aims to establish the courts as a truly independent institution, separate from executive branch pressure. That is a major development, and we will be watching it closely. At the same time, and this is something every immigrant in this country needs to hear, ICE is now using a 1996 law, a law written 30 years ago, and reinterpreting it to detain people indefinitely without bond. And we are not just talking about undocumented individuals. People with temporary protected status, people who had legal protection, are being picked up and held. This is a dramatic shift in how the law is being applied, and it is happening right now. If you or someone you know holds TPS, please know your rights, know exactly what to do if ICE comes to your door. Do not wait until that moment to start figuring it out. Which brings me to the TPS updates you absolutely cannot ignore right now. Somalia's TPS ends on March 17th. That is 6 days from today. If you or anyone you know is from Somalia and relies on TPS, get legal help this week, not next month, this week. Yemen's TPS has been officially terminated by DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. It goes into effect 60 days after publication in the Federal Register, so that clock is already ticking. TPS for Honduras, Nepal, and Nicaragua has already ended following court rulings. Burma's TPS was restored for now because of a separate court ruling, and TPS endings for Ethiopia and Syria are currently on hold because of court orders. This situation is changing week by week. Stay on top of it. Now, for everyone following the H-1B, and I want you to pay very close attention here because this year is completely different from any year before. The FY 2027 H-1B lottery registration window closes on March 19th. You still have a few days left. Results are expected by March 31st. But here is the game-changing news that many people still do not fully understand. The H-1B lottery is no longer random. Starting this cycle, USCIS has replaced the old system with a brand new wage-weighted selection process. Here is exactly how it works. Every registration is now assigned a weight based on the wage level of the job offer. Level 1, entry-level positions, get 1 entry in the lottery. Level 2 gets 2 entries. Level 3 gets 3. And Level 4, the highest paid, most experienced positions, gets 4 entries. And here's what that means in real numbers. Under the old system, everyone had roughly a 29 to 30% chance of selection. Under this new system, Level 1 positions now have only about a 15% chance. Level 2 goes up to around 29%. Level 3 jumps to 44%. And Level 4 reaches 61%. Think about that. A senior engineer at a Level 4 wage has 4 times better odds than an entry-level candidate at Level 1. If you are an employer sponsoring H-1B workers and your positions are at Level 1 or Level 2, start talking to your immigration attorney now about how this affects your strategy. And if you are a foreign national waiting on results, make sure you know exactly what wage level your employer registered you at before March 31st. And now, the story I told you about at the very beginning, the one that stopped me cold when I read it this morning. According to a new NPR report, deaths inside U.S. immigration detention centers are on pace to be the highest since 2004. Since 2004, these are not people who went through a full criminal trial. These are human beings held over immigration matters, dying in custody at a rate this country has not seen in over 20 years. The state of Maryland's Attorney General has now asked a court to block construction of a new immigration detention center. ICE maintains it is committed to safe conditions, but the numbers say something very different. Human rights organizations are demanding answers. And those answers need to come fast, because real people are paying with their lives. This is why this channel exists, not just to track visa dates and policy updates, but to make sure you see the full picture. Because immigration is not just paperwork. It is people's lives. It is families. It is futures on the line. So here is what I want you to take away from today. If you have any open immigration matter, call a lawyer, not next week. Today. Because the policy you knew last month may already be different. And if someone came to mind while watching this, a friend, a coworker, a family member who needed to hear any of this, share this video with them. You might be doing them the most important favor of their life. I'm Edward. This is Global Entry News. I'll see you in the next one.